Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at the brand new synth from GFORCE, the OB-1, made in collaboration with Oberheim as well. So this is a recreation of the absolute legendary and super rare OB-1 mono synth from the 70s. This goes way beyond what the original synth did, of course, because it's GFORCE and they've added all sorts of cool stuff. Of course, now it's polyphonic. So what's been added that wasn't on the original? Let's quickly do this. The XLFOs and the XADSR, these are unique to this. The high pass filter, the chorus, the delay, the reverb, the macros here, which are awesome. Then you also have the polyphony as well, which is also new. Obviously, because the original was a mono synth. You can have up to 16 voice polyphony, all the way down to 1. I'm going to leave it on about 6 here. You also have aftertouch, and at the moment it's routed to my filter. So if I press harder on my keyboard, so all this new stuff has been added. Okay, so let's do this. Let us set an initial patch and I'll take you through the entire thing. Now, you also have, by the way, an arpeggiator that's been added as well. I'm not sure if the original had an arpeggiator, but this has got an arp and a sequencer. So, yeah, and it's the sequencer is absolutely brilliant. So we'll get into all that as well. So this will be like a proper tutorial. I'm just going to reset this initial patch. Take you through the synth, right? So you have two VCOs, so two oscillators. So oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and then our mix section into a VCF, the filter, and then into the VCF envelope, the filter envelope, and then into the amp envelope. The envelopes are very cool because you can also have them cycling or looping, if you like. So in effect, they become like another LFO. Right. You have all the cool XLFO stuff. And then you have the original LFO stuff that was there as well. So let's listen to some of these waveforms, shall we? I'll set my polyphony down to 5, and I'll make sure it's on poly here. You also have this vintage mode and then your main volume. So at the moment, we're only hearing VCO 1. As you can see, that is the only one that is mixed in. And this is a triangle. And we can blend between triangle and sawtooth here. And then you also have it's like a ramp up, but it's a saw wave into a sine wave. And then last but not least, you have it's a pulse wave, but if you go full, you'll get a square wave if you go 100% wide. You also have a sub oscillator, which is also a square wave. You can't change the waveform of the sub. Okay, so before I get into the other oscillator as well, you also have your frequency modulation and wave modulation. So for example, with this is going to be like pulse width. Okay, now you can send this at the moment, you can send it to the filter envelope or the LFO. The LFO is here. So let's send this to the LFO. And this is the rate here. And you can have this synced or unsynced. And you can choose different waveforms. You can also have it triggered, like at the moment it's going to re-trigger, so every time I play a key, it will reset the LFO to the beginning of its cycle. If I have it on retrigger, sorry, if I have it not on retrigger, it will just be free running. And if it's on retrigger, it will reset the LFO to the beginning of its cycle. Okay, so if I just double tap any control to reset it, I am going to go take the sub oscillator out. So we're just basically hearing a square wave here. So the LFO for the frequency mod . This is the depth. We also have a delay for the LFO. So at the moment, with no delay, it's just going to affect the tone. But if we put the delay up and hold it, will fade in. Very nice. Awesome stuff. Okay. We also have cross modulation. Even though VCO2 isn't turned up now, this is going to be kind of like ring mod. Let's turn the, let's just reset the LFO. So you won't hear any, if I turn VCO1 down and turn VCO2 up, so now we're hearing this, and I use the cross mod, you won't hear anything at all. Okay, so you need VCO1 up, and this one we can turn down for a sec. And if we turn VCO up now, we'll get an even wilder effect. Very cool indeed. Right, okay, so let's turn this down again. Let's make sure our cross modulation is down. Let's switch on sync. Now, even with VCO2 down now, VCO1 is the master, so let's turn VCO2 up and we'll get that classic kind of sync. And you can get a real wide range of tones here. This gives us a bit of release. Okay, so awesome stuff. Now, of course, if we unsync it now, this is going to be wildly out of tune. So you can play around with the VCOs as much as you like. Right, so just look here. We've got portamento. You can set in the settings up here, you can set the portamento to be polyphonic. I think by default it is. Let's turn it down a little bit. Yeah. Awesome stuff. You can also have this set. Let's put that down. You can have it on hold. So if I just touch a key, it's going to hold that key. So you could, you know, play around with stuff. Let's take it off hold. You can transpose up an octave, down an octave, and the tuning, the frequency, I think is plus and minus. Well, it's quite a lot, I think. So 2 octaves. And your sub oscillator will be relative to the frequency you have here. So if this is set here and I take this down to minus, let's take this one off a sec, and I turn my sub up, that's going to be another octave below this. So you'll hear this go back up now. Okay. Moving on to the filter. Let's give it some volume. The resonance is extremely aggressive, so be careful. It will start to self-resonate extremely quickly, so. You do have key tracking available for the filter, so if we're you can tune it and then turn the oscillators off, and now all we'll hear is the only thing we're listening to now is the filter playing itself, which can sound quite nice. If you want to put some reverb on. You can get some nice effects, you know. Take the delay off. So if you want to get into that kind of thing, that's the way you want to be doing it. Right, so let's make this more kind of sensible. Let's bring in some sounds. Let's take a look at the XLFOs. And I covered basically, oh yeah, let's just cover some of this stuff first. So detune, we have unison, and this won't do anything if unison isn't switched on, and it will, the amount of unison voices depends on the polyphony here. So if I switch unison on, take the polyphony down to 1, you won't hear any difference, and you won't be detuning nothing. If I add just maybe a couple of voices, let's go back to my 6 voices, turn the volume down a little bit, because don't forget we're stacking voices on top of each other, so the volume is just going to increase. So you can get a very nice filtering effect. Of course, once you're in unison, it's monophonic. I don't think we can have, no, we can't have polyphonic unison. Right, so another cool trick, let's put it back to poly. Another cool trick here is the spread control. At the moment, if I push this spread up, every single time I hit a key, it will choose random places in the stereo field to place the notes that I play. So if I just play a few notes like this, right? And then bring the spread up, if you're wearing headphones, you'll hear this. And of course, the more extreme I go, the more extreme the effect will be. But of course, when you're playing chords, this is all going to sound like really cool, because it's going to choose different notes from the stereo spread. so you can use that as you like. Now, if you have it on, this is on random, if you have it on center, what will happen is C4 here, the sound will be in the center of your headphones or the center of your speakers. As I move up the keyboard, it's going to track towards the right hand side. As I move down, obviously it's going to go towards the left. Which is very cool because, you know, you can do cool stuff like that. It's like almost having a split keyboard vibe going on. Right, let's take that down. You also have a noise, so let's just turn these oscillators off here and bring up the noise. You have white noise or pink noise, and you can do whatever you like with them. Now, this is a good time to show, let me turn that up a little bit. This is a good time to show you the XLFO. So say, for instance, we kind of wanted that kind of vibe going on with the noise, right? Whatever I press, now keep an eye on this where it says selected parameter. Whichever control I tap, you'll see it changes to this. You can have insane modulate. They're all independent, so tap on this, tap on this. It'll all change up here, and you can either use the XLFO, the XADSR, or a blend of both, you know. So if we click on the noise color here, and I bring the amount up, okay, and maybe go to the brown noise shape, smooth it out a little bit with the smooth, and then we can control the time. Now we can have the time synced again or free running, so this would be free running. And if we bring back in VCO 1, right, you see this, now because I've selected this, I could now apply that same XLFO to this. But I can choose any waveform I want. Like, look, what's this change? This will change to that brown noise if I hit color. Okay. If I choose VCO 1 now, it'll be back on that sine. It's all independent. It's very cool. To clear any modulation, so for example, and you'll see that more depth I have, the brighter that red line will get. So, see? To clear any modulation, obviously you select it here and just hit clear and it will go away. To clear it from the noise, it's the same thing, just hit clear. You can also copy any modulation amount and paste it to another position. So say you wanted the same XLFO on a number of different parameters, you could easily do that as well. Right, so clear that. So it's super versatile. Right, let's reset kind of this kind of stuff. Let's reset to our defaults kind of thing. So let's turn that noise down. Let's look at our VCF, so our envelope for our filter, right? Let's turn our filter down. Let's give it some sort of shape to work with. Let's give it a nice kind of classic plucky type sound. Let's give it some release. Let's set our amp envelope. More or less the same. Now we're sending the filter frequency to the LFO. And again, we can use the same delay technique. Kind of thing, right? Nice. So I want to make a kind of a plucky type sound. Let's get the... Right. So let's quickly look at the... Let's quickly look at the ARP. So we can access the arpeggiator here at the top, or we can access it here down at the bottom. Now, first of all, I'm going to switch the ARP on. So we'll just swing that over and play. Turn this up. Now the arpeggiator and the sequencer use these modes, both these modes, to control the same thing. So you're either on ARP or you're on sequence, and then these will affect how they work. So right for a kickoff, I'm just playing a chord now. Octave up, 2 octaves. Down, up and down, or random. And that is basically the arpeggiator. It's super simple. Let's look at the sequencer. This is awesome. Now I'm on sequencer mode. I'll play one note, and it's just going to be this C4 that's tracking along, right? So basic stuff first, that's that C4. If I change key, it's not going to be a C4 no more. It's going to be whatever I'm pressing. So this would be a G, and then back to me C, octave above. However, we can, of course, just go in here and go, right, well, okay, let's make a sequence of some description. Something cool, I guess. Would sound okay. Okay, now the length of the sequence is 16 steps, of course. If I choose here, it's only going to be 5 steps. Okay, if I don't want this center step to play, I'll just turn its volume down here. This is note length lane as well. So gating, basically. But we can have these set at different rates as well, you see. So this is all going to get all kind of polyrhythmic and stuff. Now, underneath on the velocity lane, this is probability. So this is kind of your volume of your notes. You can switch on and off. We can also control, let's switch all these on. So make sure they're all going to trigger. Okay. This is probability. Awesome stuff. Okay, now that's your kind of sequence. We can choose to hold the sequence. So if I just switch the state to hold and press a note, it'll play. And we have cycle mode, whereas it won't change if I change a key. And then we have me just playing the key and key mode. Right now, for me, putting notes in like this is it's time consuming, right? You've also got a scale mode. So if we right click on here, choose this, and then it will change it to E, melodic, pentatonic, or whatever it is. Let's see with this G. Okay, so it's ignoring what's in here. However, if I hit this button down here that says record, watch what I can do now. I'm going to switch all of these on. Watch what happens to these notes as I play notes in on my MIDI keyboard now. Don't forget, I'm in record. I'm playing notes in on my MIDI keyboard. So I'll just put that sequence in. Turn record off, hold the key. Very cool. And this again responds to whatever key I'm playing, so. So you can record your own custom sequences in very, very easily just by hitting the record button. Okay. This last lane, it says macro 4. Ching, we're getting to the macros now. So this is awesome, right? Look, let's find a control. Right, frequency. What I'm going to do is, you see this little plus? I'm going to grab this little plus and I'm going to move it up here, you see? And you'll see the outside of that, it turns green. Drop it, right click and drag up or down depending on where you want that modulation to go, right? So you see? You can see it going up there. So let's have it go from there to there. Now, watch what happens. Each one of these now will respond to whatever I have this macro set at. So how cool is that? And then this basically increases this for all of it. So I'd leave that down and make my adjustments per step. Which is just awesome. The macros are incredible. So you can use your CCs here to map these macros any way you like. I think I have one mapped already to one of my I do. One of my controllers. I haven't mapped this one yet, but it doesn't matter because you can't see that anyway. But what you can also do is pick it up again and put it somewhere else. So let's see what could we do. Right, so something that's gonna So I'm going to pick the same macro up and I'm going to put it on the decay. And I'm going to right click and hold and give it maybe a positive value. Let's see what happens. So now we're affecting the decay as well. And we can go on and on. We can add more macros to different things. Maybe we could say, oh, well, okay, let's put a bit of reverb on. Let's leave the size up, but mess around with the decay. let's put this macro again onto the decay and right click and give it a positive amount. So now we're adjusting the decay as well with this macro. Let's put that on an XLFO. So you can do this with any of these macros. You can just send them off anywhere you like, to anywhere that'll accept them, of course, but I think pretty much everything does. And then you're just golden. Okay, look, let's turn this off again and finish off sort of thing. What we got? So you basically know how the sequence works. You can go nuts and have a lot of fun. Right, so let's go back to keyboard. I'm just going to set out. I'm just going to clear out some of these things that I've done. You can right click on here and see what you've assigned, and also remove anything or just remove all. We've got a reverb. We'll take a look at the effects in just a sec. I just want to show you the bend lever. So we have a range control here, and I think it's pretty vast. Yeah, look at that. That's mad. Let's take it down to, let's take it to 1 octave, so 12 semitones. Right, you see destination, it says both. That means it's affecting the frequency of both VCO1 and VCO2, as long as they're both kind of up in the mix, right? Check this out, right? We can right click, I think, and choose from 4 different destinations. VCO1 or VCO2 only, so that'll just give us that kind of detuned effect, because it's only adjusting the pitch of VCO, was it? It's adjusting the pitch of VCO2 only, so it's leaving the pitch of VCO1 fixed as it is. VCO2 inverted, this is cool. This will send VC oscillator 1 off in the up direction and oscillator 2 in a down direction, depending on which one of these, which way you move the lever. So, for example, and I think that is very, very, very cool. Okay, so let's quickly have a look around at the effects. I think we've covered most of the synth now. I'm gonna kind of, let me just make a, I'm gonna take out oscillator 2 for now and just concentrate on making a kind of a lead. This is your vintage control, by the way. It kind of adds pitch drift. subtle detuning to emulate an analog synth. Okay, so nice percussive, plucky kind of lead sound. So we have reverb. You have a couple of different presets, 5 being hugest. Let me just see here. So, and then just click through them. So, this is a bit bigger again. And then number 4 is even bigger. And then 5 is monstrous. Now, this is one of the things I love in reverb. So you can modulate the reverb. So, for example, you'll hear it a lot on this sound. So let's put the depth up. Hear that? It gives that really kind of spacey vibe. Right, one thing I did forget to show you. Let me turn it off a sec. Oh, you see these little locks? You'll see them every now and then hanging around, like one down there, and there's some in the sequencer as well. There's little locks here. If you have these switched on, locked up like that, as you change patch, the effects and stuff will stay the same. They won't change. Right, let me just... Like I said with the envelopes, right, you can use them as, so let's do this. Here we go. Let's have this on loop. Hear that now? So, working as an ordinary envelope. Just triggers once. If we have it on re-trigger, so for example, if we select this and attach it to our XLFO here, create some really interesting effects. Anyway, right, let's clear that out. Let's put this back into normal. And it's the same for the actual amp envelope as well. Right, let's see. So, delay. So this is sync or unsynced. You also have modulation for the delay. So let's have a really long feedback and mess around with the depth. Kind of like a tape warbly kind of vibe. Then you have a crossfeed. high pass filter. Like a dub delay stuff going on. If you had loads of depth on the mod. Okay, you also have a chorus. And you have different modes. Let's turn that down a little bit. So 4 different modes, a bit like a Dimension D. Lovely. Then you have a high pass filter with key tracking and 2 or 4 pole slope. And you also have 2 and 4 pole slope for the filter as well. 4 pole being more aggressive, of course. Lovely. Guys, look, there you go. There is, I mean, oh, the ADSO works exactly the same way as a normal ADSO, but you can assign anything you like to it. Say, for instance, the filter cutoff. So if we quickly, let's start there. So, there we go. It's gonna open this. Very nice. You can also assign this at the same time. Guys, if you've watched this video premiere, thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. Thanks. Strike the like if you enjoyed the video. I'll put a link in the description for the synth, obviously, for the GFORCE website. And it's lovely, isn't it? You know, it's really, really good. They've done a marvellous job, but don't they always? You also get a most excellent patch browser with over 300 presets included. So you can set your init patch here. But we could just have a listen to some of these sounds. You can choose to drill down what you want. So effects at the moment is all, and this is chaos horrific. So if you're watching this, I'm going to play for a few more minutes. I'm going to close the microphone now, shut me gob, and play through a bunch of patches for you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Ta-da.